Enjoying Life Over the Road, a community that champions adventure, innovation, and well-being.
Welcome to Enjoying Life OTR. My name is Cindy.Tunstall and I'm your host. Today our guest is Garry DoMoe. He's been in the trucking industry for 20 years and he has some great stories to share. I was so inspired by the things that he shared with me today, and I know you're going to love this show. He's got some long history in the industry, lots of family history, and done some crazy things and seen some crazy stories. He shared one that I was like, okay, I don't know how to respond to that. It's just a totally crazy story, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, it's so fun. But one of the things that I really love and admire about Garry was he has a really amazing health journey that he's been on. He's lost over 300 pounds. Yes, you heard me, 300 pounds. So as you can imagine, his health was in pretty bad shape, but he made some really radical choices that got him healthy. And even today, we talked about, the struggle to stay healthy while on the road. And he shared some very practical tips that have helped him and continue to help him. So he's on this journey of health, and I so admire it. I so admire the things that he has done for himself and the way that he's taking care of himself. He was getting his, you can imagine if he had to lose 300 pounds, his health was in pretty bad shape, and every year he was worried if he's going to pass his DOT physical, and if his livelihood was going to be affected by, being able to continue trucking or not. So we shared just a great conversation about our health. So anyway, I was just inspired by him, and I enjoyed this talk so much. So it's a lot of fun. So you're going to enjoy it as well. So stay tuned. Welcome to the show, Garry.
Hi, Cindy.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. I'm excited for you to share your story with everybody. You have some great things that you do when you have your downtime, and I enjoyed hearing about those, and I want to hear more about that. So tell us, before we get into all that, tell us a little bit about your history, how long you've been in the industry, what you're driving, that kind of good stuff. Everybody's interested to know about you.
Well, I started driving truck in May of 2002. I started truck driving school after I got out of the Army.
You have a 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I went to truck driving school in Lexington, Kentucky at a truck driving school named Thoroughbred Truck Driving School. I don't think they're in business anymore. And from there, I went to work for Dick Simon, where, they only paid $50 a day during training, and training was 6 weeks long. My second week of driving for Dick Simon, I actually messed up pretty bad, and I took the front end off of a T2000 at the Petro in Ripon, California, and the way I got in a wreck was so avoidable and just like one of the biggest bonehead moves. It was a complete rookie move, but anyways, it was 20 years ago. So, yeah.
So what happened with the job? Everything was cool with the job? How did they respond?
Well, they didn't fire me right away. They kept me the whole 6 weeks, and the day I was supposed to go test out, they decided they were going to let me go, that they were going to fire me. So basically they got all the $50 a day layover or labor they could out of me, then they decided to fire me. But my trainer, cool. I had fired that trainer, and I asked for a new trainer, and they gave me a much better trainer after that, and him and I got along much, much better.
Oh, good.
And we were friends all the way up till he passed away. And he was leasing that truck from them at the time. So he didn't put me out of the truck right away. He allowed me to find another job. So I went to work for Covenant Transport out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I stayed with Covenant for a little over a year. There wasn't really any incidents or any bad things that happened with Covenant. I ended up leaving Covenant with another driver that worked for Covenant, Mike, and we team drove for basically a year.
Yeah, how was that?
That was fun. We had a good time. We had some adventures. Mike hooking up with another female truck driver in Wham Sutter, Wyoming during a snowstorm. It was good. It wasn't bad. Now, I progressed From there, I went to Busky. They're out of business now, and yeah, I turned the most miles there. I got to that. I was on the old logs then, paper logs, and back then we could run, and they had me doing these glass loads that would take bottles from Elmira, New York, to Napa, California, and in the wintertime they would route me down to Houston, Texas, and transfer the load to a 58-foot trailer. So it got to the point I was running that so much that I got 2 weeks ahead on my logbooks as a solo.
Oh, wow.
Which you can't do today. And I don't even think I could work that hard, like working 20 hours a day, driving 20 hours a day, and just like being that reckless. But I did it then, and I made decent money at 32 cents a mile.
Yeah, put on some miles. That's crazy.
Well, 32 cents a mile was good money back in 2006, 2007.
Yeah, it was.
I remember.
So what are you driving now?
Now I am driving a 2022 Volvo 860 with the refrigerator. It's a real nice truck. I just got assigned this truck like 2.5 months ago, and it's already got almost 26,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The company I work for now is a premium carrier. We haul premium goods, and I just got a 2-cent raise. Well, it goes into effect on Saturday. They gave us another 2-cent raise. And last year in 2001, I started out the year, I was at 51 cents a mile. I ended it at 63. Now I'm coming next week, I'll be at 65.
Nice. Very nice.
So I do all right.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's on the W-2,
Yeah, that's great. Let them worry about the maintenance bills and paying for fuel.
The carrier I work for now, they expect a standard of professionalism, and like they like you to wear uniforms and present a professional demeanor and be a good example for the company, which I try to be.
I'm sure you are. Okay, so the show is Enjoying Life OTR. So I like to hear about some fun things that you've done outside the truck. Because I think it's true. All of us are out here trying to make money, but we're getting to travel and see all over the United States. And every once in a while, we get to do something fun outside the truck. So I like to hear one of those stories. You have one you want to share?
When I was doing flowers, I was doing a dedicated flower account for a company out of Sandusky, a greenhouse out of Sandusky that delivered to Home Depot, Menards, and Lowe's. But anyways, I had 2 days worth of downtime, and in Sandusky there's this resort called Sawmill Resorts where you can buy day passes. So I called there and they allowed me to park my bobtail there, and I paid the $25 a day for the day passes, and I was able to go there and enjoy the beaches and the play some golf and rent some golf clubs. And when I was there, I had dinner. I got to meet the race car driver John Force.
Oh, wow, fun.
And and that was one of the funner things I've done.
I love that. For $25, I mean, that's a deal.
To enjoy all the amenities that they had at that resort. It was really nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, right in Sandusky. I don't know if you're familiar with Sandusky or not. It's right on Lake Erie, and Sandusky is the home of the of Cedar Point, where they have the largest, fastest roller coasters in the world. And I actually worked at Cedar Point when I was 18 years old during one summer.
That would be a fun job.
I fell in love with Sweeperette Kimberly. I was working at the burger stand there, and this girl, she'd be out there sweeping up stuff all day. I wonder whatever happened to old Kimberly.
I love it.
Then before COVID hit, I was going, the company I work for is based out of Minneapolis.
Okay.
So that allowed me to be in Minneapolis quite a little bit. So in Minneapolis, I started doing open mics because I want to be a stand-up comedian and do comedy. And the only way to do it is to actually get in front of get in front of people and do it and see what you can make them laugh, which I've always had the gift of gab. I've been been able to naturally make people laugh, but I tend to do better when I get in a flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I get rolling, I can get people laughing more.
So how long have you been doing that?
I didn't do it. I mean, I've always been funny. I've always been able to make people laugh, but I only did the open mics for 8 months. Then COVID hit and everything got shut down, and I haven't went back to doing it. I need to get back into it. I still have my notebook with my jokes and stuff. And I just got to get back to doing it, I
know it's kind of weird. COVID kind of kicked us all off our rhythm, and I don't know if we've all gotten used to things are starting to open back up, and it's there was this little couple years where we put our lives on hold. It's okay, I can get back out and do those things that I love to do. So maybe it's time for you to get behind the mic again.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is working them butterflies out, because jumping in front of strangers is a lot different than talking junk around your friends and but
that sounds horrible to me. Anyway, I'd like to go and watch, but I don't want to do it.
Public speaking is one of the biggest fears most people have, and it goes back to evolutionary biology, because people don't want to be up in front of people in front of other people, but it is what it is. I like it. I enjoy comedy. I enjoy it quite a bit. I listen to a lot of comedy. I listen to a lot of books. That's the main thing I do when I'm driving. I'll get tired of music, which, don't get me wrong, I love music, but I'll listen to history and mysteries and books and podcasts and comedy more than anything driving.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have a big variety of stuff I listen to. There's so many hours, so it's I can't, I like to learn new things. I like to experience new things, and I like to just check out too and just do something fun. But
what type of books do you like to listen to, Cindy?
I listen to a lot of leadership books and a lot of I do some, personal development stuff and business strategy, entrepreneur stuff. I like all that. But I also love, listen to biographies. I like to hear people's stories. And currently I'm listening to one by Brene Brown, which I absolutely love her. I'm a big fan of her. So just all kinds of stuff. So I have a lot of interest.
I just finished Charisma on Command. Now I'm doing NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I need to dig into the Power book and with the 21 Rules of Power. And it helps. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it just helps the day go by so much faster too. I really love that.
Some of them books can be a little bit tedious, though. They don't write them to be entertainment when they're giving you techniques and ways to format your language for maximum impact.
Right. I have several of those books, and I just can take them at just chunks at a time. I'm like, okay, I gotta do something else now, and I listen to a lot of podcasts too, so I'm I'm the same way, and the same thing with the podcast. It's whatever the topic is, I'm okay, I got to turn you off for a while. I'm you're losing my interest.
Listening to Rollo Tomasi's Rational Male, or I don't know. I'm a big nerd, though. I get into all the science fiction and horror, and that's my stuff right there. Ever since I was a teenager, I've always been a bit of a nerd, just science fiction, Star Wars, Star Trek. I'm one of the biggest nerds you'll
I would not have described you that way.
Rosen Bridge.
I would not have described you that way, so I don't know about that. Okay, so I want to talk about your health. Can we switch topics?
Sure.
Okay, so I know you've had a big health journey. What's it been like for you staying healthy when you're on the road?
Well, when I started driving truck, I weighed approximately 225-ish pounds.
Okay.
I got getting out of the Army, and over the course of my 17-year career, I got up to 548 pounds.
548, you said?
Yeah, 548.
Wow.
And COVID hit. I was supposed to get surgery in March of 2020.
Okay.
So COVID hit. That got rescheduled, and so I ended up getting gastric sleeve surgery on my birthday which was, I kind of thought it was kismet and like meant to be, because the way they scheduled it to make it happen on my birthday in 2021. Wait, was it 2021? No, 2020. I'm getting, December of 2020, when I had my gastric sleeve surgery. And since then I've lost 328 pounds. So it's like night and day.
Wow.
Because before that, I was only getting a year on my DOT physical.
Yeah.
And now I have a full 2-year physical.
Nice. Congratulations.
I was using a CPAP machine, required to use a CPAP machine. I still have a CPAP machine that I use just because I like it, and I fall asleep really easy with it.
Yeah.
And food addiction's a real thing, and that's was my problem. Is I'm addicted to food, and I think about food all the time, and it's still to this day is a struggle thinking about food and sweets and sugar, and it seems like addiction wants to transfer. And first it was like I lost some weight, and women started finding me more appealing, and next thing you know, I'm treating women like crap and just like being a bit of a slut and like not being respectful and just like running through trashy women, you know? Then it's like,
and you were a trashy
next
guy.
thing you know, I'm gambling, and that I think's even worse because, heck, it's now I'm doing my best to stay out of casinos, and I'm in a committed relationship now, and I try to use her for support to tell me no, but really I'm solo, and I'm out here. Nobody is in this truck to tell Garry not to do anything, or nothing's a bad idea, you know, which I need that, you know, just somebody saying no, or it's time to go, or, you know, which it's all on me, you know. But I'm happy I did it. I don't regret it. And
I could go a million places with what you just shared, but tell me about the surgery.
I had well, my insurance is pretty good through my employer, but it's not that good, and they do not cover gastric weight or medical weight loss surgery.
I don't even understand that. It's like, why wouldn't that seems like that would be a no-brainer that they would cover that. It's like it's a I don't even understand it.
I would think so too, because my cousin, she got it done, and she is on government assisted Medicare or Medicaid, whatever. Anyway, and the government will pay for it, but the insurance that I pay for, like the best insurance that my company offers, didn't cover it.
Wow.
So,
what'd you do?
Anyways, I ended up going to Cancun, Mexico, and getting the surgery done.
And you were nervous to do that? I mean, I hear some.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I did a lot of research on it, and medical tourism is good.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason. You know, as long as you know the doctors and they have a good reputation, that's how they earn their money.
Yeah.
And they're reviewed on Google, and like if people have bad experiences, they say something.
I see. Yeah.
So the doctor I went to, he's excellent. Would recommend him to anybody for either he does gastric sleeve, gastric bypass, and I even think he puts in the bariatric balloon now in stomachs.
So how was your downtime for that? So how much work did you miss?
I was only out of work for 4 days. And my doctor gave me a back to work letter. He put me on profile to where I couldn't like do any extreme lifting or anything like that, which basically I ran dry van for a month and a half till I was all healed up and eating regular food. Yeah.
And how long before you were eating regular food? Like, what is the process of like your diet?
About 8 weeks.
Wow.
First week it's all liquid after the surgery, and then you're on a puree diet for like almost 2 weeks, and you go up from basically water to regular food.
And then how does that change the way you eat? Like, what exactly has happened since you had the surgery that's made you lose so much weight? Like, how are you eating differently?
I can't consume mass quantities of food, and instead of eating 5,000 calories a day, I'll eat 1,500 calories a day.
And when you say you can't, so like physically you get sick when you eat a larger portion, or what happens when you eat it?
Well, it's painful.
Yeah, okay.
If I eat a larger portion, because my stomach is missing 80% of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Which, yeah. And I try to make better choices with what I do eat. Like every morning I wake up and I have 2 boiled eggs. Then I'll have a protein, like Slim Fast drink a little bit later on. And I'll make up a fruit and vegetable smoothie.
Oh, good.
With protein in it, because I try to get in my 60 grams of protein a day.
Nice. And so you're eating smaller portions. Are you having to eat more often during the day? Like, how does that work? How are you getting in your calories with
my
eating
snacks? For snacks, I'll have sunflower seeds, and I'll eat cheese.
Yeah.
Just because cheese is really easy to digest. I cannot do dairy too well. Dairy wants to come back up as far as like ice cream or milk.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the enzymes, and plus humans, we really we don't need milk.
Yeah.
I've been researching it quite a bit, and milk is not really in the human diet, whereas cheese is, because cheese is not milk. Cheese has actually already been digested,
right,
by the bacteria and the enzymes when the dairy is made into cheese.
Yeah.
So it's easier to process.
Yeah. Good. So how's life been for this adjustment? So you said you talked about food addiction. So how did you manage making the change? Like how's that been for you?
It's a struggle. I mean, every day I got to tell myself not to buy sugar, not to get bad food. I try to buy good food, try to stay away from restaurants. I don't think I've eaten in or bought food out of a truck stop restaurant in a couple of years.
So what are you doing instead?
No, that's not true. I'm lying. 2 days ago there was a Thai restaurant there in Fife, Oregon, where I delivered. That was pretty good, and I went and got some pork green curry out of the Thai restaurant, which I like that. I like Thai food.
Yeah, so good.
Spicy food, yeah.
Okay, so are you cooking in the truck or what? How are you prepping your meals?
I have a pan, an electric pan. I have a slow cooker. I have a toaster. I have a Galan's air fryer, microwave, oven combination. That thing's a game changer right there, and it's one of the best deals. It was only $99 at Walmart.
Oh, nice.
And I cook so much stuff in that thing.
Yeah, such a great buy. Such a great purchase.
Yeah.
You had a friend telling me the same thing. She has the same thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart.
And the company I work for has refrigerators in our trucks, so that helps out a lot.
Yeah, nice.
They've been putting TVs and refrigerators in all their trucks, so
nice.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great. Take care of your drivers. Come on.
Right, which they do, and I'm really happy with them. I like my carrier.
Yeah.
So
good. Well, you got any other fun stories to share before we wrap up?
Let's see. I've been to multiple concerts and different things traveling around. I did see back when I first started driving in Oklahoma City. You couldn't have made this up. It's so wild. This girl comes running out of the truck, and she's got maybe her bra and panties on. It's just like, but anyways, he has on cowboy boots, boxer shorts, and a cowboy hat. What possessed him to put his cowboy hat on before he got out of that truck? Just like, I guess he had to have a sense of style. You know what I mean?
I'm from Texas, so it's not too crazy.
So, and he has this tire thumper, right? Like one of the short wooden bat ones.
Yeah.
With like a string on it, and he whips it around like Thor, swinging it in a circle and wings it at her, and hits her in the head.
Oh, Lord.
Next thing you know, 6 girls materialize out of the trucks there at that truck stop, and they proceeded to stomp that man down. That's one of the worst beatings I've ever seen a man take.
Oh my gosh.
And one girl, she did pulled a Tupac from above the rim and flipped a razor out of her mouth. She had to have some skills.
Apparently.
So, and they cut him, and dude, that guy got so messed up. They ended up having to take him to the hospital. It was quite the ordeal he went through, and I don't know what she did to piss him off. I don't know if she tried to steal something from him, or she was giggling at his pecker, or what. you know.
It wasn't good.
That was one of the wild things I've seen out on the road. I mean,
it's pretty crazy.
Other than that, I've seen probably 40 different accidents in my time just being parked at truck stops. And, 8 times out of 10, that's where an accident's going to happen, is at a truck stop, parking.
Yeah.
Not going to happen going down the road, because that's when you're the most alert. It's going to happen when you're tired.
Yeah.
Parking.
Yeah, of course.
And I've been trying to mentor new drivers, because it seems like they'll be on Facebook seeking help, and a lot of times people will just be mean and rude and not want to give them good advice and help new drivers and mentor people correctly. So I try to do that and help them and give them the knowledge that I've obtained through the thousands of mistakes I've made over my 20-year career, which I'm learning new stuff every day.
Well, I admire that about you. I love it that you're willing to do that. And, I met you on social media, so I know that you're a good guy and you're willing to help people out. So I really love that. So thank you for that. And we all need that, because I watch some of these groups, and some people will post a question on there, and a driver will respond with something snarky or sarcastic, and the new driver doesn't even know that they were being sarcastic and that was not good advice. Almost like
right.
It's kind of scary. Anyway, so
right.
I hope one day to start a network of mentoring drivers. So I hope to have that on my website at some point, because, and I don't know how it would vet it. I'd have to have some veterans like you kind of.
I don't think trucking companies are giving drivers the training they need anymore, because from what I understand, training is only 2 weeks long anymore. Back when I started, it was 6 to 8 weeks. And even then, you had to test out, and they could keep you longer in your training if you required it.
Yeah, they're so eager to get you on the road, so to start running solo. It's so scary.
They want that cheap labor.
They do.
Because they know once you get that year under your belt with no accidents, no tickets, your value triples.
Yep.
And it's not like back then I was making 17 cents a mile working for Covenant.
Wow.
And I thought me making $500 a week was pretty good, which I guess back in 2004, 2003, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But now I'm at 65 cents a mile.
That's great.
And it doesn't seem like the money will even go as far as it was, because my grandfather, he made $34,000 a year in 1975.
Wow.
And I did the math on that. That's close to $200,000 a year in today's money.
Yeah.
And he was driving a cab over Freightliner for American Freightways then.
Wow.
Which they don't even exist anymore.
Times have changed.
Yeah. I'm driving a 2022 Volvo 680 that's all the bells and whistles in it, super duper nice. And
well, I'm glad they're taking good care of you. Well, Garry, thanks for coming on the show. Tell us how, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you and had questions for you, or maybe wanted to reach out, is there a way that they can get in touch with you? Are you on social media or anything? What's a good way for people to get in touch?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Just my name is pretty unique, Garry DoMoe Jr., Garry L for my middle name, and then DoMoe Jr. I'm the only one on there. It's me and my father. I'm the junior, so it's unique, you know?
Yeah. Okay, good. And I have a website, Garry, elotr.com. I'd love for you to get on there and, share some of your favorite stops. And I have a question and answer forum on there as well, so that'd be a good place for people to reach out to you. And
my favorite restaurant out here on the road is the Pine Cone in Johnson's Corner, Wisconsin.
What do you love about it?
There used to be one in DeForest, Wisconsin, but that has since closed. So if anybody ever is in Johnson Corner up there on 94 in Wisconsin, stop in to the Pine Cone Restaurant. It's excellent.
Okay, so get that on my website, Garry, because I need people to hear about my website and put their favorite stuff on there, because I created a social media network just for truckers. So, I wanted to be a place where we could leave, our favorite stops and favorite restaurants, and just give a shout out to people that are, trucker friendly, that have that take good care of us while we're out there.
Mm-hmm.
That way when somebody's passing through that area, they can see your post on there and go, okay, I'm going to check it out. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Garry. It was sure nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you too, Cindy. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too. Take care. Hey, don't forget to check out our community at elotr.com. It's a social media network just for truckers. So make some notes, share your ideas, leave reviews, and post lots of pictures. We want to hear about the many ways that you are enjoying life over the road. Thanks so much. I sure appreciate you. Be safe out there, and by all means, enjoy the journey.